So hello everyone, thank you for tuning back into part 2 of this little video segment. We're going to call it just First Winter Habitat Day. As you can see, I told you I was going to drop this ash tree. I like dropping a tree right next to where I set up shop for the day. I got a nice place where I don't got to bend over to fill my saw up. Nice little tabletop right there, fill the steel up. Great little 170 cutting good day, 14-inch bar. I don't need anything more than that. I dropped a couple trees about this size. We'll go up the hill and actually walk this here shortly, but I wanted to talk about my setup. Actually, I'm gonna start the saw quick, cut these two branches, because look at all that food that's still up there. I want to get that down a little bit more as well. And then I just worked up the hill, so we'll put this on pause. I'm gonna cut these branches, then we'll pick it right back up. Okay. I wanted to do that before I walk off. As you see, just start bucking it up like I do if you're cutting firewood or something like that. That way it gets those branches down. You can see that broke that top down a lot more. But this is also something that I love using in the winter. This is my brand new. I used to have an old blue sled I used to use when I was a kid. But I went out and actually bought a jet sled this year. Got my saw box, chainsaw obviously. Usually if I'm cutting for longer than just an hour, I'd have another saw with me in case this one got stuck. Gas, bar oil, my hat that I had on as I walked in. Then obviously my helmet. Chaps, I can throw gear in this. Extra saw in this. Is about the perfect size, and this helps you from having to juggle a million things going out here, and you can just pull it right behind you. But look at all that nice ash browse. As you can see, this tree didn't grow. Some of it grew a decent amount, 6-7 inches, but look at all these nice bud shoots that are down here now. There'll be deer in here. There's deer right over here in the field within 200 yards of me. I saw them when I came back to fill the saw up. Yeah, they're up the hill right now. Cut these two little ash, just dropped them for browse. I don't know if I want to take this cherry yet. I cut all the vines out around it though, as you can see. Got some hangers and stuff. Cut the hangers out of it. About a half hour is what I cut for. Probably dropped 20, 25 trees maybe. Nothing crazy. As you can see though, stomping through a good 2 foot of snow. Walk out here in the field where it's a little easier. But Nebraska plot, as you can see, digging it up all good. Probably find a shed or two out here some point this year. I don't know if they're dropping yet or not, but I'll leave the sled right here because I'm going that way to go out the other access. We'll just take a quick walk up in here. Pear tree, shootable distance from the blind. So right here, disclaimer alert, I cut apple trees. They're not a limiting factor on my property. It's just like I wouldn't tell somebody with a predominant oak wood lot not to cut an oak ever. It just doesn't make sense. I cleaned these up a little bit. These couple produce along the edge here. They're old. They're in kind of rough shape. Cut the dead out. Vines out. I did this 2 years ago, cut the vines out of these. And I got to come back through and cut them again. It's about every year maintenance or so. These 2-3 I dropped. They were overrun with grapevine and had a rose bush in that one. But dropped some food. This should stump sprout because these were still alive. Also nice little browse. Dropped a little ash tree right in here. 2 of them actually. There was another one in front. You see the top over there, I already cut that down. A couple sumac right here with full sunlight. There should be a few more sumac regenerating on this pocket. Now you might ask why I didn't cut more of these sumac. I want these to stay here for a seed source, 1. And number 2, you can already see I got plenty of good sunlight up behind me on this hillside. They bed up on this hillside, come down to feed. go off. It's a straight in, straight out spot to hunt this with the appropriate wind. Trimmed off some dead. This one will probably go, these two will probably go next year. I just haven't made the decision yet on them. Yeah, these will probably go next year. We'll see how they sprout. I want to show you one that didn't look like it was going to survive that survived. I don't put a lot of work into these trees until they show me that they're going to produce after I release them out. So these guys are probably pretty toast. They had a rose bush growing up through them, and cut that a couple years ago, but as you can see, it just took over that one too. And a lot of grapevine, cut some of the grapevine out too, but we'll see. Got this one, it's ugly, but this one dropped apples. I watched a couple does come down through right here this past year and feed. And then this couple over here, cut these stumps at about knee high. It's where I about like to cut my apples. That way it's a real good stump sprout. You can see all the nice green cambium wood that was still alive on this tree. Dropped it for a little bit of browse. It's not going to do a whole lot here. I can always replant another tree here if I want to, but this will stump sprout as well. And then I cut 1, 2, 3, cut 4 additional smaller apple trees right there that just weren't making. Again, they'll have green growth. They'll stump sprout again. A couple of these, again, I'm just doing a little bit of saw time, trying to get them back. We'll see if it ends up happening though, no promises. But you can see there's some good new growth up in the tops, some apples even left behind. So we'll see, maybe it'll pay off with these couple, and if not, they'll drop for browse and cover at a later date. Good deer traffic up here, real nice release side hill. And a couple box elders I dropped up there a handful of years ago. Big, huge box elders. And left a couple residuals. There's a finger that goes up through. So this just makes a nice travel corridor that comes down to this field. And you kind of see the travel corridor right through here that goes out to that field as well. Like I said, I dropped a couple more apples for stump sprouts. This ash hasn't shown any signs of the borer, so right now I'm leaving it. We'll see. I mean, it's a nice mature ash. It should have some sort of borers. We do have them here on the property, so this guy's gonna make it. This was the first tree we talked about in the West Side Story video, and it's hanging on. I actually, you can see, cut most of the vines. I guess I missed one. There's a little. I cut all the vines. You can see, snipped them off. You can see. Yeah, these ones are already cut out. They're just hanging up. This was the original tree from the West Side Story video, and she's got good growth. You can see all the grapevines are out of her now. They've fallen, died out. You got nice buds on the ends of these. Look at that. Not growing a ton, you know, but now that we're getting it to the point where it's released, we might be able to start doing a little manicure and a little pruning. We'll look at another one right over here that looked really bad. And again, just a little bit of cutting. It's amazing what the tree responded and took off with. But this one's looking real good. This is the original West Side Story apple tree, because the old dog leg for the trail used to be right here before we expanded this plot into old field, I guess it's looking like right now, but it's gonna be a mix of food plot going forward. Here's that finger that comes down, and then there's a stand location on that side of it, and there's gonna be another stand location in a clump maple right over here coming up this year too. That was a real good spot. So this tree was right down to the ground. I mean, you might kind of be able to see the residual of it. You see I smashed it all down and pulled it all down. And this was all very young grapevine. Very small diameter. This one was released when we released this. This thing was just a wad of brush. We actually took most of the brush off the side of it into that pocket. Kind of just a little bit of a, I don't like rimming my plots by any means, but you have to have some place to put all this material when you clear ground. And I like kind of a solitary line pile that fits back up into a piece of topography like that. There's another one further down that way that blocks them from coming straight down looking at the stand location. It's the same thing with this one. Brings them off the hill somewhat at an angle and kind of hits it like a delta in a stream where it comes in and kind of splits it. So that's what this is right here. And this is pushed off. But look at the responding growth out of this, showing that it's got good stuff. We'll top that out probably in a couple years. Nice, good, vigorous growth down here on the ends. You can see where the deer can reach it. See if that'll focus. Yeah, there it is. They're browsing on it where they can reach it. So we dropped the stuff off of it again. This side could probably come out of it. So this is all that sprouting is coming off of these two. We won't do any trim into this tree for a couple years. Gonna make sure she responds. This one I almost dropped, but I ran out of gas. I walked around it. I dropped three more trees up there. 2 ashes and then that 1 apple. That one behind it I was going to drop 2 in this one, but I ran out of gas. But now I'm going to go north and do the rest of them. So I don't know, it's probably about 20 trees or so. Quick little 10-minute walkabout. Probably getting pretty close to having to take off for leagues, but you can see you got good browse component out here. Got good briar regeneration. You got ash obviously regenning out here too. So, but we're gonna brush hog this all down and make it a field. And then we got a couple sawtooth oaks over there. Actually, you can kind of see the leaves of them that we planted in this plot several years ago, before this was actually a food plot. Trail used to kind of come right through here. You can still see the remnants of it. But yeah, that's the update for the cut of the day. Get out there and don't be afraid to drop some timber. Give these deer some browse. No means are you gonna change the load of food that they have by a large amount without a huge cut, but just a little bit. This is basically a TSI cut, I guess you could even call it, for this area, just based on what's not productive anymore. Right now it can be better served as browse, and then obviously cleaning it up with the tractor and stuff, and then making this plantable food source. This might even, I think, probably just gonna be a strip right here, maybe a strip across the top, and leave this kind of a swale in between, flanking food, because it gets wet down in that bottom. Get some red dogwood, ash, and stuff like that. But yeah, and again, didn't really want to drop them, but this is going to be very, very good browse here. There wasn't much left of this apple, just really this branch. The rest was just overtaken and never really took back off. You didn't see any good vigorous, growth growing up like you did in that one over there. So I think it was time for this one to go. Plus you got this one. It was right underneath that ash. That we'll see if it ends up making it or not. Probably not. And then this one's doing pretty good. Had apples on this one this year too. So, but that's the long and the short of it. A little bit longer video than I like doing, but hopefully you got some useful information out of it. I'm gonna go back to the sled, which is right over here, and hoof it out. As you can see, I'm up, just short of my knees. 6 inches or so short of the knee depth until you get a pocket of drift or something. But yeah, for just a little bit of cutting, I needed to get out and get some saw therapy. People have tractor therapy, all that stuff. Mine's kind of chainsaw therapy. I get out here and get some saw time and go about it. Here's the deer, right out there, at the end of the finger. I figured they'd be out. They hear this chainsaw cut and they're gonna be coming. I guarantee you tonight they'll be out here in the plot, eating obviously, and then they'll find out where this fresh sawdust is. I guarantee you that too. So thank y'all for tuning in, and hope you guys get a chance to get out and get some habitat work done. And I will catch y'all next time out here in the field. Take care, guys. Be safe and be smart. And take care. Thanks for tuning in.